Waging war, waging war, waging war, waging war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Waging war, waging war, waging war, waging war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Waging war, waging war, waging war, waging war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me.
We are waging war on mediocrity. It ain't no friend of me. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, bringing you another edition of these high intensity trainings. Turn me up. Y'all better go to the chat and prophesy to yourself to turn yourself up. Turn me up, man. We've been going somewhere with these conversations the past couple of Saturdays and Sundays about turning yourself up. We've been talking about not dimming your light so others around you feel like theirs could be brightened. We talked about you standing in and believing what the great I am has created your awakened I am to profess and to accomplish on this earth. You better turn yourself up. And this morning, very, very briefly, I wanna hit you up about no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Oh my God, that's a bread-breaking moment all in itself. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. It didn't say that the weapon wouldn't be formed. You may have weapons formed against you all day, every day in different capacities. But let me let you know right now, I'm not telling you not to even recognize the weapon. I'm not even telling you not to recognize the debt, the doubt, the unbelief. I'm not even telling you, I know the doctor gave you a negative report. I'm not saying don't acknowledge it. But what I am saying is, you got to know that it shall not prosper. Oh, motivational teacher, what are you talking about? That thing in your life that you thought was sent, that thorn in your side that you thought was sent to hinder you. What's up, Angelique? That thing was not meant to hurt you. Oh, I'm going to break bread today. It can't prosper. I know you've been running, you've been ducking, you've been dodging, you've been nervous, you've been scared, you've been afraid, but it cannot prosper. Oh, I'm breaking bread this morning. I am breaking bread this morning. The relationship that walked out of your life, you thought it was meant to break you. It cannot prosper. The chapter 13, it cannot prosper. I remember one of the lowest times in my life when I wondered, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, I questioned, did I have what it takes to get there? I was living in the room the size of I had just come out of divorce. I was living in the room the size of a closet. My house went back. I couldn't afford the apartment I had. I had to move in with a colleague and like, man, like just give me a crust in a corner. And I began to question, am I enough? But then I realized it was formed. The weapon was formed. Doubt, unbelief, a poverty mindset, a spirit of fear and lack of determination. It was formed. But I had to realize that this situation that's going on around me doesn't dictate what's going on in me. Oh, I just broke bread. As long as it's around me and I don't allow it to creep in me, it cannot prosper. The moment I start believing what I see is my real condition, it's the moment the weapons around us start gaining control of our mind, will, and emotions. I'm breaking bread right now. I'm breaking bread right now. Come on, Angelique, holler at your boy. I'm breaking bread right now. I love Fred Hammond. The song Fred Hammond, no weapon formed against me should prosper. When I have moments in my life when I don't see what I think I should, I love closing my eyes and playing that song, No Weapon by Fred Hammond, because it reminds me that what I'm going through, it can't beat me. I love the story of the Hebrew boys. They said they were about to throw them in a furnace because they wouldn't bow down to a false god. The Hebrew boy said, whether God saves me or whether you throw me in the furnace and burn me, it's all good with me, because even that weapon you formed against me, it cannot prosper. And they threw the boys in there, and it did not burn. It didn't burn. My question to us is, do I believe that no weapon formed against me should prosper? Do I believe that the negativity, or maybe do I believe that the results of my life right now, have I allowed the results of my life today to creep inside of my decision making for tomorrow? Bread breaking. Have I allowed, have I started habitually creating habits because of my doubt and unbelief that lands me in the same place I'm in now? Have I allowed the weapon to prosper in my life? God has already given you the word that that weapon shall not prosper. It only prospers when you allow what happens on the outside. Let me tell you something about a weapon. Oh yeah, I'm gonna break bread. Let me tell you something about that weapon. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Weapons are always external. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. Weapons are always external. My dad was in and out of prison my whole life. My dad didn't know his dad. That was the weapon. The weapon formed against me is a genealogy of fatherlessness. It's a genealogy of poverty. That weapon was formed against me in the fact that they said that I was going to be a statistic based on my family upbringing. They said that I didn't have the substance to be more than, if my dad never finished high school, my dad brothers never finished high school, my uncles never finished on my dad's side. So they said that weapon formed against me was greater than the God that's for me. Oh my God, I just broke bread. They said that because of your external conditions, you can't outperform them internally. They expected me to perform at the level of the weapon. I love the fact, oh my God, this I feel, boy, I got chill bumps going all around my. I love the fact that God ain't a respecter of the environment you came up on in. I love the fact that God is not a respecter of what experience says your credit score is. I love the fact that God is not a respecter of what your mom and grandma who probably didn't love you the way you needed to. I love the fact that God is not a respecter of the opinion of your father that walked out of your life. I love the fact that God is not a respecter of the opinion of the person that told you you were an average student. I love the fact that God is not a respecter of the people in the neighborhood that expected you to perform to the level they did. I love the fact that God is not a respecter of what other people think, say, and believe about you. He responds to your level of belief or your level of faith. And they told me I was a statistic, but no weapon formed. Oh my God, I love that, boy. No weapon formed. And you have to know that your destiny is so powerful. Thank you, Angelique. Your destiny is so powerful that weapons are forming to keep you from getting to that place where you impact lives of other people. See, you think it's about your money. Don't you know the devil not after your money? Don't you know the people around you ain't after your money? The naysayers are after your destiny because your destiny is tied to you become going before great men. Your destiny is tied to your wealthy place. Your destiny is tied to ultimately your impact on this earth. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. You better turn me up. Oh my God, that's a bread breaking moment. Turn you up. What would you do if you knew failure wasn't an option? How would you move day by day if I knew the weapon being formed against me can't stop me? Foreclosure can't stop me. Debt can't stop me. Doubt, unbelief can't stop me. Oh, it cannot stop me. The only time those things hinder us is when what's external creeps in internal and it diminishes our results because it breaks us down from the inside out. I love the fact that my boy said, let's go to the other side. Wind and water got in the boat, but it didn't stop his level of belief because he knew that the great I am said, let's go to the other side. His confidence wasn't in what was around him. His confidence what was in him. Where are you casting your confidence? Are you casting your confidence in 40,000 eyes? I was watching TD Jakes this past weekend on YouTube. He had 47,000 eyes on YouTube and right at 38 on Facebook. And I was sitting there in amazement. And I'm like, I love TD Jakes, did his work, been doing it for 40, 50 years. I love the fact that he's able to have that kind of influence with people around him. But I was thinking to myself, well, can I show up like I would with 87,000? Can I show up with 5 eyes on me like I would if I had 100,000 on me? Because it helped me understand that what's on the outside doesn't affect what's on the inside. You better turn yourself up. I'm not bound by the results that I see today. I understand that what's in me is greater than my reality today. You better turn yourself up. I don't live from the place of insecurity. I don't live for the place of pride. I don't live for the place of doubt. I don't live from that place because I realize that even the things around me are not more real than the things that are in me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. You can put whatever bill you want. You can tell me, you can have whatever lien on whatever property. I mean, we were trying to acquire a property and the last minute didn't fall through. I said, you know what? Just wasn't our time. And I'm okay with that. You know why? Because no weapon formed against me shall prosper. That means God has something greater in mind. Any door that closed wasn't meant to be open to me. Oh my God, I just broke bread. I don't sit back and whine about what we lost. I'm too busy building what's going forward. While people so back there are reading history, understanding history, I'm too busy trying to create my own future. You better turn yourself up. We allow things, stuff, life to occupy too much of our mental capacity. Turn yourself up and realize no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I got to break bread. Even some of the mistakes that I've made in my life, I realize that there's a path. There's a path back because the gifts and callers of God are without repentance. I realized that I might have messed up like 18 years. I realized I made mistakes, but even that weapon formed against me shall not prosper because the gifts are calling without repentance. Like if he gave it to me, he didn't take it away. So I realized I got to get to the place to where I don't allow what happened externally to continue to affect me internally, lest I continue to produce the same results. You got to turn yourself up. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I'm the head and not the tail, man. It's a bread-breaking moment right now. You got to turn yourself up. You've allowed the world to set your frequency. You got to turn yourself up. You've allowed the naysayers to tell you what your value is. You got to turn yourself up. I don't care if don't nobody around me recognize the value that I bring. I know there's value in me. I'm turning myself up. The worst part about not recognizing the weapon can be formed, but it shall not prosper, is most times we focus on the weapon. And as we focus on the weapon, I'm gonna break bread. As we focus on the weapon, we have stress. In moments of stress, it's difficult to build. In moments of stress, it's difficult to create a body of work that's sustainable, because in moments of stress, it's all about sustainability for that moment. Never focus on the weapon. Always focus on the fact that it cannot stop me. They will be formed, but it will not stop you. Turn yourself completely up. It's your boy, the motivational teacher to the masses, coming again with another edition of these hits. And until next time, challenging you to wage war on mediocrity. Your boy is out.
It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war, wage a war, wage a war against mediocrity. It ain't no friend to me. Wage a war, wage a war.